dive into sharing and information, I thought maybe we would actually prepare ourselves a little bit to receive and do a little bit of yoga that we could just do right in our chair and move some of the energy field, okay? So you can just press your chairs back a little bit, sitting in your chair, kind of move away from the desk. Good. And then just sit up tall, like be on the edge of your chair a little bit. And place your hands on your thighs. And the chin is going to stay level. And we're just going to do an inhale, bring the heart forward, exhale, round the spine. So it's good. It's like you're going to open the heart. So go ahead and close your eyes. And just do this, what's called a spinal flex. Okay? Eyes are closed. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, round the spine. If you've ever been in yoga class before, you also could do this on your hands and knees, and the teacher will refer to this as a cat-cow. Good. Now we want the chin level so that the energy flow goes up the main energy channel up the back of the neck, through the crown chakra, top of the head to the higher realms. Good. Now deepen the breath through the nose. Good. I remember when I first taught my mom some yoga, and she's like, "What's that noise?" And I said, "I'm breathing." It's deep breath. So deepen the breath through the nose. Good. Now spinal flexes, keep going, are really known for balancing the alpha, delta, and theta waves. So the brain's going to get into a more equal state of equilibrium. You're getting the cerebral spinal fluid to flow better through the channels of the spine. Good. Keep going. Inhale, exhale. Good. Every inhale, feel like you're breaking open the heart. Exhale, rounding the spine. Also really good for digestive system. We're going to get some energy moving here as well. Good. Take away all wrinkles between the eyebrows so that this third eye opens up. This is your true seeing area, your intuition. Good. Now keeping the eyes closed, inhale, hold the breath. Hold it. That's it. You're going to like bust into the cellular structure, major energy. And then exhale. And just sit for a moment. Let the energy circulate, process. Even if you're not connecting to it just yet, trust it. It is circulating. Good. Nice. All right. Sitting on the end of your chair, bring your hands to your shoulders. Plug the arm bones in, meaning feel the elbows draw into the shoulder blades. You're going to inhale to the left, exhale to the right. Eyes are closed, just trust. This is an inward journey. This particular pose is from the Kundalini tradition of yoga, and it's kind of like in the children's yoga program, they call it the washing machine. But for us adults, this is literally the washing machine for your heart center or your heart chakra, where we might have a little bit of old history on this heart, some past pain, sadness, maybe some disappointments, a couple broken hearts. So we're just going to free the energy there. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Good. Keep going. Feel free to speed it up just a little bit. Good. Widen your range of motion. Good. Most important part, lift the corners of your mouth. Inhale, center, hold the breath, keep the hands up, elbows up, really pull up, pull that energy up, and then exhale, relax. And sit for a moment, hands maybe on your thighs, eyes closed, long, deep breath. And these are simple things you could just do for a couple-minute break in your office, in your chair, which is really nice. You can shift your energy that fast. You can shift your mood, shift your opinions, your ideas, and open up to a much bigger, let's say, inner Google for information. All right. Open the eyes for just a moment. We're going to do one more warm-up, and this is called Breath of Fire, and it's a really powerful pranayama, better than any cup of coffee you could have. It's going to give you sustainable energy without the side effects of whacking out your adrenal glands, okay? So you don't, like Nick said, ride that roller coaster in your body, in your energy. Okay, so hands are on the thighs. Let's bring our thumb and first finger together. This is Gyan Mudra, and this means bringing the small ego self with the Jupiter finger or the higher wisdom self. So you're bringing them together. You can just rest that on your thighs. Now this breath is an even inhale and exhale through the nose only. So it's like this. Okay, so go ahead and begin. Close your eyes so you won't be self-conscious. And that way you'll be more conscious of the self. Louder, more powerful. Because right now you're stimulating 1,000,000 trillion meridian points in the nostrils to awaken the brain. You're strengthening the lobes of the lungs so you have a much stronger immune system this winter. You're balancing the autonomic, sympathetic, and parasympathetic nervous system. There's pages written on Breath of Fire. Keep powerful. Powerful enough that you feel your navel pumping, but you're not making it pump. Okay? Keep going. If you get a little dizzy because you're just not used to breathing this much, take a long, deep breath and then come back in. Relax that third eye. You don't need to use that to breathe. Relax between the eyebrows. Good. Now inhale, hold the breath. Hold all that energy you just evoked. In fact, from your pelvic floor, squeeze, pull the navel in, pull that energy up, sit taller. Let the eyes roll up to the heavens. And exhale, just sit with the eyes closed. This energy we just evoked at the navel center is spreading and circulating throughout your entire body. Just let it process. Literally, you just installed some new software. Good. And then go ahead and open your eyes. So someone mentioned yesterday, you know, I'm the woo-woo. Who was that? Was that you? That you bring the woo-woo, or somebody brings the woo-woo? Oh, she's not here. Well, I'm your woo-woo factor this morning. Yeah, because I definitely live a different lifestyle of a lot of woo-woo, so it's all good. But how we can totally integrate that into the mainstream everyday life that we all live. So how do you feel after those just 3 things you did? A little shifted, any? You know, maybe sometimes people feel like, whew, like a little lightheaded. That's called a natural high that we can have all the time. We can be elevated without having to find it outside ourselves to elevate. So that's what I'm going to share with you today about how we can show up in our families, in our community, in our jobs as the most elevated person possible, and watch what happens from there. Okay? So I'm very elevated back then. Here I am, and God bless my mother for dressing us in these outfits. You know, there were 4 of us, and what they did in the 60s, how they put us in all these matching outfits and everything. So a little bit about my journey, and this is the flashcard version. I did grow up in Philadelphia on the East Coast. I'm the youngest of 4 children. And like some of the other speakers here this weekend, I also was a musician, and I have a Bachelor of Music from the University of Michigan. But it's so interesting as we go through my journey about why it started there and where I am today. I have 3 grown sons, which is a beautiful gift. I was a fitness instructor for about 15 years in my 20s into my 30s. Like everybody else was, jumping around then, and it was exactly what I was supposed to do. Yoga found me. I didn't find yoga. Yoga found me at age 35, which was a really powerful time. And it was perfect timing, because someone asked me the other day, is it too late to start yoga? It's never too late to start yoga, because we're going to learn today what yoga really is. And the Western view of it is really just all exercise, and it's so much more than that. So we'll talk about what the actual yoga will translate into your life. After teaching yoga locally at some of the studios in the area, I found it taking me very quickly into the more spiritual side of yoga. It just took me. I didn't have a choice. And where I was teaching at the time was really more focused on yoga as exercise. So it wasn't a fit anymore, and so I decided I needed to leave. And I was kind of just wandering around the area, teaching here or there. I set up a program for Peter Nielsen. He's a local fitness guru, and I set up yoga for him for a couple years. But then my students that I had taught previously were saying, "Where are you? We miss you. We want your classes." So I just listened within, and I thought, well, I'll try and open a studio. What's the worst that could happen? I'll sign a short lease. We'll see what happens. That way I don't have a lot of risk. Well, here I am 10 years later. I'm so glad I found my dharma. That's calling our destiny, or what we're supposed to be doing in our life. And it feels really right. It's total alignment, and I love what I do. So I opened Karma in 2003. We just celebrated 10 years in September. Now, I had a spiritual awakening, a really profound spiritual awakening in my late 40s. And that came about by some really larger life's lessons. And we all go through larger life lessons. Mine was a karmic contract in a marriage. And it was 28 years long. And it was a success. And that's how I look at it. It was quite the success, because it made me do my work. It made me finally look at all my stuff and get busy deciding to heal and reveal and resolve, and so I could evolve. So that was huge, and I'm grateful for it. And it took me to where I am today. However, I'm not wearing that outfit anymore. Okay, so here we are in the age of Aquarius. I want to give you a little background on that. We moved into the age of Aquarius on 12/21/12. Now, CNN was broadcasting that it was the end of the world, or everybody was, and it was kind of true, because we were ending the Piscean age, which was dominated by machines and hierarchies. And the new Aquarian age is ruled by awareness, information, and energy. And the greatest power will be your word, your consciously projected words. The Piscean age, and these ages run for about 2,000 years. So how cool that we were born to be here for a time just like now. That was to be or not to be. You had to learn, grow, and become something, and you looked outside of yourself, Google, for the answers, and you studied outside of yourself. And that's all good. It served us to where we are today. The Aquarian age now is be to be. You already know. You are already complete. You're going to connect to your inner wisdom now, your inner Google, and the answers are already there. So the Aquarian age, they've been singing about it since the 60s, right? So we were slowly moving into it, but we made the final full turn on 12/21/12. So we could see what was happening before we got to 12/21/12. A lot of things were falling apart. A lot of things that were not in integrity would be revealed. And it's still happening even now that we're into this first year of the Aquarian age. It was really kind of reshuffling the world to get us ready for now. The Aquarian age is the age of enlightenment, is the spiritual age. So a lot of people will be coming intuitively. Their soul's going to take them into, there's so much more, and I know there is. And they're going to be drawn to more spiritual practices, or be to be, or to know more of their inner self. it's happening like crazy. I teach meditation, and I almost have to quit my day job as a yoga teacher and a studio owner because so many people want to learn to meditate that I could be teaching people to meditate all day long. This is one of the signs. The other signs is our prenatal classes are filling up really fast. So there's a lot of high souls that are coming in to be born. It's a very interesting time. It's a baby boom. They've been waiting for the Aquarian age. But that's a whole nother workshop. Okay. All right. So let's first talk that like attracts like. And you have your heart, and you have an electromagnetic field of the heart that broadcasts out around you. You are creating your life by what you're broadcasting, okay? You're an energy field. As you're walking around, you're not these muscles and bones. This is just the vehicle that's carrying your energy field. If you're crabby or in a lower vibration, your energy field's about 2 feet. If you're very elevated, your energy field is out to 9 feet. Radiant body, it's called, around you. So you have a lot more effect with a bigger energy field than with a small one. Okay? We have to understand we're energy beings. So whatever we're broadcasting, we're going to create like attracts like or bring to us. We either could be in a low vibration, which we'll talk about in a little bit, or we could be broadcasting a high vibration. And it all happens through our electromagnetic field, or the aura. So the breath of fire that we just did, literally that's like how you plug in your laptop, your iPhone. You know how you have to charge that up every night? Charge yourself up every day. It's much more important. So we do that through different practices that I'm going to share with you, but breath of fire is one of the most powerful ones to charge up your electromagnetic field. It also clears it because in your auric field, your energy field, you can pick up a lot of people's stuff. Okay, you know that just from feeling it. That's how you picked it up. And it can hang in there like a nasty little fly, like you want to get it out of there. So we'll talk about daily clearing of this electromagnetic field that'll make you a much more productive and positive and successful person in your life because you're not carrying around all this history in your files, let's say. Okay. So what's your frequency? You know, what are you broadcasting day in and day out? You know, Nick talked about yesterday on this roller coaster ride. Are you one day the pendulum's way over here and everything's fantastic and life is amazing and you're like maniac and you have so much energy and you get so much done, and then the next 2 days you're in bed exhausted, depressed. Like you don't have this sustainable energy. You know, it's all over the place. So just some thoughts about what is your frequency. Is it up? Is it down? Would you like it to be more consistent, more sustainable? Because we can't live in this, you know, extra high because that's not going to be functionable. And nor do we get anything done if we can't get out of bed. All right? And here we are. When we're carrying way too much emotional baggage, all we can do, like the woman in these groceries, is barely get into the house with all the groceries. That if we're struggling with holding this much baggage or these many groceries, we don't even see anything around us. We didn't even notice our kids when we walked in the house because we just had to get it to the counter, right? And that's kind of what happens as it translates into us. If we're carrying way too much past history and like our stories that we just love to continually repeat about how this person did me wrong and this person isn't doing what they should do and my life will be perfect when my son finally cleans his room, ain't gonna happen. That's called basically self-sabotage. Somehow we're afraid to step into our next layer of excellence because we're still playing those stories. So something to think about that kind of clogs down our energy field big time is the emotional baggage we might carry. So we're going to look at you in layers of consciousness. So at our very most subtle body, deep inside ourselves, we are pure divine energy or pure consciousness. Physicists know this. Scientists know this. There's been a lot of information coming out over the last decade on this unified field of consciousness that everything of creation comes out of. You might have been familiar with the movie What the Bleep Do We Know? Came out, I don't know, 5 or so many years ago. It's a great movie if you haven't seen it. It's all about quantum physics and this unified field of consciousness. What the bleep do we know? Okay. Our next layer from there, this is a subtle layer to the more gross layer, is our spiritual body. And we all have it, whether it's turned on is one thing or another, but we have a spiritual body. And then a little larger than that is our mental and our emotional body. Okay, is this making sense? Okay. And then our energy body, our breath body, our life force body. That's what's keeping this physical vehicle alive. So prana in yogic terms means energy or life force. So the more prana we're carrying, the bigger we're radiating, the bigger power we have behind us to manifest that which we want in our life. And then the physical body that houses all this, which we're the most familiar with. So in yoga, really the doorway in is going through the physical body. And then we eventually can get more and more and more subtle and connect, hopefully, to this pure divine energy or consciousness that we truly are. Is there some emotional baggage in the way, preventing us from getting there? Absolutely. So that's why we have these, I call them tools and technologies of this particular practice that I'm familiar with, that rapidly remove the garbage, take out the trash, so we can access unbelievable amounts of creativity, wisdom, and knowledge that we are just not tapping into. Again, the Aquarian age, going within to get the answers, the intuitive body that already knows. How many times have you said, "Oh, I knew it, and I didn't trust my feeling, and I went another direction"? You know, how many times are we going to do that? Instead of follow our heart that always knows, and our gut always knows, right? We get that feeling. So the Aquarian age is moving from the intellect, or the Piscean age was the intellect, and the Aquarian age is moving from the intellect to these better brains, heart and navel center, or the gut. Your emotional baggage is pretty much hanging out on baggage claim C. The mental and the emotional body, okay? And that's your subconscious. So with every blink of the eye, you have about 999 thoughts. Only one of them can you act on at a time and create with it. What happens to the other 998? They get dumped into the subconscious. And then they're running this old operating software of stuff every day in your body and controlling you to operate from basically the past experiences and they're projecting them on to today's decisions and business and life and relationships. So we have a lot of people walking around operating from their subconscious. You probably know a few of them, right? And it's drama and trauma, and it's not productive. So that's kind of where that hangs out. And then our larger lessons in life, anything from death, divorce, illness, anything that's a larger lesson, is going to connect you usually to your spiritual body. You know, a lot of people are saying, unless you're down on your knees, you're not going to have your spiritual awakening. Sometimes it takes a massive life lesson. I call it the cosmic 2x4 to wake us up. And I needed a lot of cosmic 2x4s. I'm a Virgo and a type AAA, recovering type AAA. So I needed quite a few lessons before I thought, okay, I'm seeing the pattern. I obviously have a part in this. And you know, darn it, I want to figure this out because I want to free myself. So I was grateful for my larger life lessons. So here we are. This is us. Physical, energetic, mental, emotional, spiritual, pure divine consciousness. Isn't she great? Love her. So, what does it look like when we're in a low vibration? We are negative. All we talk about is lack and limitation. We're sad. We're anxious. Depressed, right? Pretty common. And fearful. Controlling, which basically comes from all the above. We are so out of control within, we have to control the outside world to feel better. It's very common, okay? So this has become the normal way to live, right? It's almost accepted that you got to have one of these problems or take this pill so you'll feel better. This is not our natural state. This means, these are red flags. In yoga and Ayurveda, which is the holistic science of health in the East or in India, that means just something's out of balance. And we can get back in balance. We don't have to live like this. It's like become like, well, my mother was depressed, so I have to be depressed, and then I'll pass it on to my kids. And through the technologies of yoga and meditation, you can literally say the buck stops here. And you can clear 7 generations that have come before you and 7 generations yet to come. Someone who does this type of work. It's pretty powerful. And then what happens if this is going on, if you're running this operating system all the time, you get sick. Dis-ease. That's by the time everything has gotten to the symptomatic level. Although it's been going on all along, we just are so busy running around, we're ignoring the symptoms, and then it comes up to that level. And then that's when we get that cosmic 2x4. Hello, do you hear me yet? Time to wake up a little bit. High vibration. So when we're running a high vibrational program, we're positive. We're compassionate. I know you're already going, well, that's all great, but how do you get there, right? Healthier. Creative. See, if you're carrying a lot of the low vibration, the stress, you have no room to be creative. You can only carry so much baggage, right? Positive and negative baggage. You're much more patient and peaceful. You're trusting. That's big. You're letting down your walls, okay? And you're fulfilled. And this is a fulfillment you can't get anywhere else. You can't get it at Nordstrom's. You can't get it in your boyfriend. You can't get it in your refrigerator. You want fulfillment inside. Fulfillment inside is the key. So, everything is vibration. You're an energy body. Your vibration, everything affects you. The food on the right, low vibration, would you think? Right? Higher vibration here. So we're going to look at, just to open our awareness that every single thing affects us. Like I'm having a hard time with the lighting. It's not my lighting of choice. Okay? I want candles and incense, and because I know how it's going to affect my energy field. I am all about taking care of my energy field. How we live. Okay. Looks like my teenager's bedroom. Okay. All right, so vibration is in our home. Is it a home sanctuary or a home nightmare that you go home to every night? It's very important, especially when you're out in the world busy, running businesses all day. You need a place where it's a sanctuary. We know the word feng shui, right? This is very important to vibrationally set up your home that's supportive to you. How's your work environment? Why not have some candles on your desk if you can? Why not be playing mantra? And we'll talk about what this is. This is sound therapy. That's why I'm playing it, not just because it sounds good. It's sound therapy. What do you read? Everything affects you. Are you reading thrillers, gory novels, or something more uplifting, elevating? Something to think about. What do you watch? Okay, let's get real. If you wake up and have 3 cups of coffee, read yesterday's news, because that's what the newspaper is. It's old vibration. Turn on the television and watch the news. Oh, that's getting really scary because it's all about fear. Okay, now you've picked up that vibration. You haven't even left your house yet. You'll be depressed by noon. Guarantee it. You will be, because then you're starting to believe it. Like, it's really hard for me to visit my beautiful, loving parents because that's pretty much their entertainment now at their age is the television, and I get it. But do we really have to have CNN on 24/7? The vibration that puts into their home is fear, 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 fear. So you can probably pretty much figure out I'm not watching like Friday the 13th or Freddy Krueger's. It just wouldn't give me the energy field that I'm interested in. Okay. What do you listen to? My first wife left me, my second wife left me, my third wife left me, it's all her fault. You know, some of the songs out there. Are the songs uplifting? Right? Yeah. I mean, okay, if you just went through a breakup, you get attracted, like attracts like. You listen to those because it's going to support your story. But then it depresses you after a while. It just keeps replaying your story. So uplifting music is going to elevate you. And music is the highest vibration. The angels are playing it all the time. So go up to the higher realms. Okay? What do you eat? Again, is going to totally affect your vibration, how you feel. And you know that. Everybody knows that. I mean, I totally look at food as how's it going to give me energy for what I need to do. I look at food as a tool. I don't get much emotional satisfaction out of it anymore. I don't eat that way. It's what do I need to sustain my energy, to teach 3 yoga classes, run a business, be a mother, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And clothing, absolutely. Like it was hard for me to put on really dark clothing this morning because I really go for white. I want a big radiant body. I want higher vibration. So I tend to pick colors that will uplift me and get me at a higher vibration. So I even think of that. I drive a white car. I mean, I'm insane. But I want to be as elevated in this lifetime as possible. Okay? So all of these things, I mean, you can't escape it. Everything affects you. Everything. So a lot of times we get called to have our awakening. We just can't, we're getting tired of being sick and tired. Or playing the same old patterns, stories. And we wake up one day maybe and decide we want to be the change we want to see in the world. A lot of people will describe this as a midlife crisis. And those aren't midlife crises, those are midlife breakthroughs. Marianne Williamson always says, never underestimate the power of a nervous breakdown. It's a fabulous breakthrough. Breakthrough. You're finally getting your stuff up and out that you've been swallowing for a long time. So we need some tools to get there. We talked about color. Starting to look at color in your home. Curtains, fabrics, what you wear. Uplifting, high vibration, or low vibration? Sound, what you listen to. Aroma, what do you smell? aromas, essential oils, incense, flowers. They're all uplifting, aren't they? Elevating. Smelly dogs, not so much, even though we love them. Okay? These are your tools to elevate you, so to think about in your life. Lighting. Okay, don't get me started. So look at your lighting in your office, in your home, everywhere. Exercise will elevate us. It's moving the energy. That's why we feel better after we exercise. And if we listen to our mind, it's going to be like, you don't have to. It's okay. You can skip today. The loudest voice in your head will always be the ego. So skip that one. Wait till it goes to the softer voice, and the soul will direct you that get out of bed and get going. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to shift your energy. It's going to shift your vibration. And if you want, spiritual practices are very powerful, very high vibration. So we want to look at our whole lifestyle. Do we go walk in nature with our family, or are we just focused on the next task, what we have to do? One of my teachers in India, I loved him. He was just so blunt. It was perfect. He goes, you don't have an effing chance in hell in this world unless you have daily spiritual practice. Bottom line. And I just thought, I have to agree. We are in the most fast-paced age now, the most technological age. Everything is faster, 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 faster. You just bought the iPhone 5S, there's already a 6 coming out. We can't keep up. So we have to get a higher operating system in us so that we can keep up. And this is different than overdoing. Don't get me wrong with what keep up means. It's just riding a higher vibratory space because the internet's doing it. It's reflecting the electromagnetic field of the world, so we need to as well. Okay, we're no separate. There's only one of us here. So if that's high vibration, we will be too. So look at our lifestyle. And very important is to look at self-care. And number one, self-care is not selfish. You're going to be a much better entrepreneur and business owner when you take care of yourself. Bottom line, okay? Halt. Hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. If you're any one of those, halt. And do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Okay? Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. A lot of people are just running like that normal. Okay? We know from flying, put your oxygen mask on first. So important. Showing up to run your business. If you're depleted, it's going to trickle down through your whole system because you define the energy flow of your business. Bottom line. Make time for exercise, relaxation, friends, social things. Have a social life. Because when we run our own business, boy, does that go easily out the window, doesn't it? We could work 24/7. We're workaholics. Let's get honest. Adequate sleep, critical for repairing and rejuvenating. Boundaries, how to say no. And no can be a complete sentence, by the way. We don't need to justify or qualify. No. And boundaries are really great for business owners because we want to be such people pleasers. And we have to learn how to say, no, this doesn't fit my vision, or it's just too much, I've got a lot on my plate, I can't take on anymore. And then we also need to learn what? To delegate as well, big time. If you're a control freak, it's not good for a business. You have to delegate. And we'll delegate more when we're not running from a fearful program, the lower vibration, and we trust that it's all good. Stress release. I challenge you all to balance on the top of your chair in your office. Okay. Oh. So elevating practices, walking in nature. A lot of people love that. The minute you get out in the energy of nature, your electromagnetic field connects with it and it lifts you up because nature is very high vibration. So just know that's how it's working. That's why you feel better. That's why a lot of people love to go up to the woods or go camping if we don't even understand how it's working. Eating healthy, alive foods, foods with energy, foods with prana, right? Yoga, totally elevating practice. Meditation, and it's for everybody. A lot of people are going, oh, I can't stop thinking. Well, that's not what meditation is, and we need another 2 hours to talk about that. Everybody can learn to meditate. I teach people from 10 years old and up. You just need a teacher and you need a mantra, and it's not that difficult. Mantras in music is very elevating. Mantras are high vibrational sounds that actually have teachings coded in the sound. It's a sound current. And it's able to bypass the ego and clear the subconscious of old thought patterns. So you can literally sleep with mantras playing, play them in your car, play them in your office, and it's like doing the clearing and taking out the trash, and you're doing nothing but sitting there. It's really powerful when you sleep with them because your subconscious is the least defensive, and that way you can't fight change, and it will do the work. And there's many mantras for so many things, like to remove fear, negativity, and phobias, to remove blockages to abundance, to bring in a man in your life. There's even one of that, you know, a high conscious man of God. I mean, there's so many mantras. So. And of course, if you're not connected to mantras, any elevating music will elevate you. Prayer, beautiful. And always thinking of choosing people, places, and things that uplift you. Why do you keep hanging around with a person that's still playing the same old victim role and talking about it 24/7? Is that uplifting you? You can hold the space for them, but stop getting sucked into their story and trying to rescue them and fix them all the time. Be instead the light worker, the light leader, and inspire just from your presence. Because you're the master of your destiny. You and you alone. Every morning, wake up and say that. Good morning, I am the master of my destiny. And believe it and say it over and over and over again until you really feel it. Sometimes we'll say things, affirmations in the morning, and it feels kind of yicky, like we can't own it yet. But just keep saying it till that sensation goes away in the third chakra. What yoga is, because there's a really skewed Western view of yoga because we have gotten into thinking it's just this exercise you do on a mat. It's a variety of technologies to help us feel better and make better choices in our life. It includes lifestyle, breath, postures, meditation, mantra, just to name a few of the technologies. It clears and purifies old stresses, traumas, patterning, and dysfunctions from our subconscious. This is why I do it. It's your daily taking out of your trash. What happens on your computer if you don't take the trash out enough? It crashes. What about you? You're no different. There's only one of us here. Allows for your full potential, love and happiness and success in life. Oh, great, sign me up, you know. And it's a path to awakening of your higher self. Yoga means union. It doesn't mean the splits are standing on your head. That's just the tools to get you there. Did I accidentally skip? No, okay. So are you surviving or thriving? What do you want to do? I was surviving. Didn't even know it. I was so entrenched in the insanity that I couldn't even see it. It was surviving. So we could be the person on the left, help, help, help. I like the guy on the right much better. The human self versus the infinite self. This is the yoga. This is the merger. You're going to merge the human with the infinite. So it's me or we. You go from your visual eyes, thinking what you see is real, which is not. It's all Maya and illusion anyways. You're going to start using your third eye to see more clearly, your intuition, your intuitive eye. You're going to move from lack to abundance, victim to miracles, narrow view to bigger picture. You're going to see things from a bigger picture, not from your old software. Me, my way or the highway. That's how the ego likes it. Or you could become more flexible. You're going to move from blaming and shaming and understanding that the soul has karma, that it's just working out someone's stuff. They're just working out their stuff, just like you're working out yours. That's what we came here to do. To reveal, heal, resolve, and evolve. You're going to move from fearful, I'm alone, to trusting in divine order. And you're going to live your vibration. Success, achievement, team, excellent, winner. When you're elevated and vibrating in that higher place, you'll start living it. It's not just something, it's not 1 hour on the mat. Yoga's not 1 hour on the mat. What good would that do? We got 23 other hours. And the mirror effect, because your business is a reflection of the owner. So if we're greedy, fearful, and controlling, the business will reflect that. People will feel it easily, big time. They're going to walk in, they're going to feel that energy field. And your employees will be acting from that because you are. So this whole thing about self-care and elevating yourself, if you walk in a higher place with the higher self, trusting, knowing, allowing, flexible, and all those qualities we talked about, your employees are going to exhale. They're going to be more available to their higher self, their creativity, their trustworthiness, and so on. Because you're demonstrating, I mean, you're vibrating steady, flexible, and grounded. That's the best kind of boss to have, isn't it? So the results are, we don't do yoga or meditate for the experience, but for what it brings to our lives. Because we do yoga or meditate, we have peace, joy. We flow with life, abundance in all forms. This is not your bank account, all forms of abundance. Better health, you'll solve problems, make decisions easier because you do yoga, because you meditate. You'll have better relationships, fulfillment of desires, and the bottom line is all we want is more love. Love is the highest vibration, and it will make our business very successful. So we're basically getting a new operating system. Every time you get on a mat, every time you install a yoga pose, it's getting new patterning, new software, and it just keeps upgrading. The old system isn't working. The new system starts to come online. Literally healing 7 generations that came before, 7 generations that are yet to come. So let's review. We are energy. Can't ignore it. It's what we are. It's what we vibrate. Life mirrors us. Whoop, we gotta own it now. We are the creators of our reality. Self-care every day. It can be 5 minutes. Of what we did was only took 5 minutes. Do something every day, self-care. Maybe it's a bubble bath. Maybe it's go for a 10-minute walk. But you did something for your soul. And most importantly, what we model trickles down. So this is a way to get in touch with me. I did bring some homework for you, so we'll just distribute this. You can take a look. It's a little taking your inventory. So just to kind of look at some of your habits and things that you do, your lifestyle, and just give you some thought so that you can step into the most amazing light being you came here to be. So thank you so much.